Here we are with the Norton 650 prototype unified twin again, and this test ride I attempted it a little earlier today actually, and I didn't even get this far to where I set off from nowadays before the clutch cable let go. So I've repaired that. I'm hoping it'll hold for at least long enough to find out what I need to know, which is whether a strange, irritating and rather disturbing occasional sound has disappeared since I've changed the chain that was on it for a Reynolds one, which, although it's the same size sprockets wise and teeth wise, it's actually narrower across the link plates and the rivet heads, and I think the other chain was catching and brushing against something in the casing and making a hell of a racket. So there was that, and also the headlamp unit was quite loose and rattling around inside the shell in the rim, so I've sorted that out. So that's two possible sources of noise hopefully dealt with, and I just want to take it for a run and see if the noise I'm on about has actually gone, because it was quite disturbing and even alarming. Let's see if I've sorted it. You only actually need the clutch to work once here. If we get away and it pops again, I'm going to keep going and see whether I've sorted the noise out, because clutchless changes I'll have to do if necessary. Right, we're away. Well, it's still evident, but not as bad. surface of the road absolutely evil. Well, it's quieter, but the noise hasn't gone. Oh, that's another thing I tightened up, was the rear of the seat was loose as well. I thought that might have been making a noise, but the noise that's been bothering me is still there. It's almost like something is just literally just touching something else, and at certain sort of engine speeds and loads, and even the odd bump in the road can set it off, but I really don't know what it is yet. It doesn't seem to do it when you're stationary. At least the clutch cable held out. And the engine, it's relatively, there's a bit of oil there. Oh, here we go. Still got some leakage there then. I think that might have to be lived with for now. It's not been a runaway success story, this. We've still got that bogging down, that lumpiness. I'll have to try and look into that as well. But I pressed it a bit there, I've got to say. The rear brake is still borderline useless, and I know that I've had that all in bits and cleaned the drum and the shoes, they were alright. The brake linings are like new, maybe it'll bed in a little. But the new chain although it seems to have helped, it's not solved the problem completely, and I'm still a little bit sort of stumped as to where the noise is coming from. But I'm even thinking of maybe taking the front wheel off and just checking inside it in case there's anything tinkling around in there. It's a strange one. Anyway, back to the workshop, I guess, and carry on scratching my head.